Mukoma is also used weaving through nicely woven. A bottle like this one of 1.5 liters fresh, so it is sweet.
Well, my first time, let me see. Welcome back to Culture Mundo, Joanna. Today we have a very interesting culture which is very important to the Pokomo tribes that live in Tana River, and maybe Alan can say something about it.
Today we want to look at palm wine tapping. For those who know palm wine in Kenya, the most common form of palm wine is the mnazi palm. But we have another interesting plant, we call it the mukoma tree, or dome palm in English. You find that this palm tree is very common here in Tana River. So the inhabitants of Tana River, that is Pokomos and Giriamas, normally tap the palm wine from this tree.
Yes.
And we are going to look at how it is done. But very briefly, the process of tapping the palm wine begins from the tree. Normally when the dome palm grows, the tappers normally cut the top part, the front, and then they cut it nicely so that they expose the inner part, and then they tie something, a container, which is also secured with some kind of a mat, in order to stop the bees from accessing the palm wine. They like it so much. So, and then it is secured there, left for some hours, and then the tapping continues. So the fluid trickles inside the container, and then they get wine from that. So after that, it is ready for drinking. So these are very young dome palm trees. These ones have not grown full into mikomas, because there are different names for the stages of a dome palm. Like this one, a small one like this one is called akirara, plural virara. And then you can see the big ones now have grown into big trees. These ones are called mkoma, singular, mikoma, plural. And you can see around me this area, the top part is also has some fruits. They are called makoma. Those ones are not ripe, but when they ripen, they are also eaten. They are very tasty, actually. Then from the other side, we can see a part of the tree which has already been tapped. There is a container with some wine inside. That is what it looks like when it has been tapped. So in a moment, we want to see how it is done.
And to add to that, we would like to thank Mr. Laurence for having allowed us to come and capture how he taps the dome palm wine, and also to show us other things he does to earn his living.
Our wine tapper, Mr. Laurence Hanje, is now sharpening the knife, because he needs it to be very sharp for it to cut through the tree. And in a moment, you're going to see how he does it. Now he's preparing his knife for the job. Then we'll take you through the process.
Guys, meet Mr. Laurence, now ready to climb the dome tree. A man of immense resilience, who despite losing a leg to a snake bite and crafting his own prosthetic, fearlessly climbs towering dome trees to make a living. His story is a true testament that disability is not inability. Look at how he climbs. It is incredible. To get access to the top of the dome tree, he first has to reach it by climbing this tree.
This tree, we can see right at the top, the whitish part of the tree which has been exposed. That one is from the trunk which has been chopped to reveal that part. So it is that white part which normally gives out the wine. So the wine is tapped from that part. It normally trickles in very tiny drops
Yes.
They put a container there, and then they fasten it with the mat, and from there now it trickles in small drops into the container.
Yes.
And then they later on, after some few hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours, they come to get it from there. So now we can see from this side, you can see the tapper performing his craft. Right now he is actually removing the wine from the tree, and it is ready. We have some fresh wine here.
And he has kept it what time? How long does it take to fill that, or he's going to put it now?
So when he has tapped the wine, he normally makes a fresh cut so that some more wine can trickle in. So when they do that in the morning, it takes normally about 5 hours. They put the container there for 5 hours, and then they are able to tap some more wine. So each time they come to extract the wine from the tree, they normally perform another small cutting, and they leave it again to trickle in. So you can see that is fresh wine.
Yes.
Maybe we might have a taste of that also.
Yes.
So we can see he has attached a string on that container, which is fastened to the tree and later on covered with the mat I was talking about, in order to prevent animals like bees. Bees normally like this wine a lot. They normally come here, and also bush babies, or in Kiswahili we call them komba. They love this wine so much. They normally come to extract it, to steal. Sometimes even baboons, they also do that. So that's why it is covered with that, and then they fasten a rope on that mat to make it inaccessible to the animals.
He's now coming to this other part.
Okay.
Photo from there.
So now Mr. Laurence is coming down from that part of the tree.
Yes.
And then he's going to go up the other part of the tree. So he'll keep on doing that from branch to branch, extracting the wine and putting it in the container.
Okay.
And then later on, it will be transported to the place we call the Mango, where now it is consumed.
Okay.
So he is now unfastening the rope from the mat. You can see there's also some other fresh palm wine. So he's extracting that one now. That is the extraction process. After that, he pours the wine in the container he's holding in his hand, and then he makes another fresh cutting. Yeah, that is what I was talking about. So you can see the technique. The way he makes the cutting, it is such that there is a slant which allows the fresh wine to trickle into the container. And then again closes the lid for another round of tapping. It's quite an art. So this part of the Nkoma tree is also used for making furniture like chairs and even tables, where it is fastened to a piece of wood, and then it passes across chairs, especially the sitting part. And the Nkoma tree also gives us fruits. They are not in food and furniture. Then it also gives wine, of course. It gives a starting material for roofing. You can see from the Marara. Then
Here we have our fresh.
actually, the other part of the marara, the middle
Mkoba.
one. You can use it for making things like ropes. You can use it for basketry, that is weaving, for making mat, baskets. So it is a very important to this community. Can I explain something?
Yes.
Unaweza kulitaka lakini nanya kugani kabisa. So this is the wine that has just been tapped. From the rounds he made across the branches of this tree, he has been able to tap all this wine and is putting it in a container. You can see the wine is ready. The good thing about the Mkoma wine, it can be taken fresh from the tree because it normally matures very fast. So that is a ready alcohol. If you take the whole of that container, it will probably knock you out.
Is it?
It is normally very potent. It is not like Mnazi. They say those who take it say it charges very fast and also gets out of your system very quickly. So when you take Mkoma, you normally don't suffer from a very strong hangover. But it is very potent. Trust me, if you finish that container, you are out. A bottle like this one of 1.5 liters goes for around 230 shillings in the market.
Okay.
So we can see Mr. Lawrence is taking a sip from the drink he has just tapped from the tree. That is fresh palm wine from the Mkoma tree. He's taking it from a traditional straw. We call it mriza. In Kiswahili, it is called mrija. That is a straw. Actually, this kind of straw also has a sieve. It has a sieve at the bottom for sieving any impurities which might get into the drink. So he uses this one at the tapping site. But normally when it is being taken to where it is consumed, they normally sieve it. So there are no impurities. Yeah. Apart from tapping palm wine, Mr. Lawrence Hanje also makes some mats here. He does some very nice basketry work, weaving. You can see there is a mat here, a very big mat, which is made from the fronds of the dome palm, Mkoma. You can see it starts from something like this. They make it very long and then they weave it into the mat. It's quite an art. This is a traditional mat. In Kiswahili they call it Jambi. In Kipokomo they call it Jambi. And also in Kigiriama, Jambi. It is normally round, but now it has already been kept there. It is ready for sale. This one is complete. It is a mat. It is usually spread on the floor, and people can use it for sitting. Traditionally, children would sit on it, especially when they are eating, to avoid spilling food on the floor, and also for hygiene.
Okay. And for how much would he sell, for example, this one?
This one, they sells it at 1,000.
1,000.
Yes, when it is complete.
Almost.
Because he has to finish. Yes.
He's still in the process.
He's still on the process of getting at least 6 more other rounds.
Okay.
Then people can sit here with a big sahani of ugali or rice.
Yes.
The people can sit around and eat.
Yeah,
this is a traditional table.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Nice.
So this is the weaving process. After they have acquired the material, that is the fronds from the dome palm, from the Mkoma tree, they normally cut them into thin strips and then they carefully weave them. It's quite an art. I have never been able to learn it myself. You can see his hands weaving through. It's quite a process. So this is the part they use for covering the container which taps the palm wine. They are called vitangaria. They are also woven from the dome palm. You can see It has been nicely woven, so it is used for covering the top part. This part of the mkoma tree is also used for making furniture, like chairs and even tables, where it is fastened to a piece of wood, and then it passes across the frame. It can be used to make chairs, especially the sitting part. And then the mkoma tree also gives us fruits. The makoma, they are not in season currently, so you won't be seeing them. Then it also gives us the wine, of course. It gives us thatching material for roofing, as you can see from the marara. So the process we are witnessing is the cutting of marara. Marara is a roofing material, which is very common here locally. Before many of us could afford iron roofs, this is what was used as a roofing material. It is from the dome palm. So they cut it from the tree, and then they put it out in the air to dry a little bit for a few days, and then there's some modifications that they do. They perform to this part, so that now they can attach it to the sticks on the roof, and then it is attached there, and it provides a roof. It was a very cool roof, especially with the weather conditions here, very hot. Yeah. So this one was an ideal roofing condition, roofing material. To date, they still use it. Those who cannot afford an iron roofed house, they still use this as roofing material. Yeah. There are some who can afford the iron roof, but it is not uncommon to see them making gazebos, and then they attach this as the roofing material. It helps with pull things down. Oh. So it is still very much useful. Oh. This is how they dry the marara roofing material. They are put on the ground and flattened. Okay. And then they normally put something like logs on top to hold them in position. Okay. And hold them from shrinking back, so that they can remain just wide enough for the roofing. And then after they do that, they leave them for 3 days. When they have dried, now they are collected and taken to the building site, where they are used for roofing. Okay. It grew as a weed. It is a weed, very invasive weed. Once it starts growing in your farm, eliminating it becomes a problem. But with time, the inhabitants of Tana River found something useful to do with it, and it is a very important plant. Yes. For example, the trunk can be used for building. It is very strong. It can be used for building, especially roofing. Sometimes it is even converted into timber. Yes. Then you can see from the fronds what looks like the leaves. These ones are used for making thatching materials, like the makuti from the mnazi tree. And then we can see, of course, it provides us with wine. Yes, as local wine. And then also from the fronds here, we can also make you can make material from for basketry and weaving. Actually, we saw an example there. He's weaving a mat. Yes, actually, Mr. Laurence Hanje, apart from tapping PalmWine, also ekes out a living from the mkoma tree in another way. Yes. He does some very good mats. Yes. So it is a very useful plant. Okay. And from the wine of the mkoma tree, we take it during social gatherings. It is taken as a means of recreation. But also, before the invention of yeast, people from our community used the mkoma wine for baking, and it is as good as yeast, especially for making this rice bread in Katiosinia. Okay. And also for medicinal purposes. For example, if you're having you are experiencing constipation. Yes. You can take mkoma PalmWine. It is known to relieve that. So it has many uses for us. Okay. So after tapping wine from a particular tree like this one, and when it is almost exhausted, the tapper normally shifts to another tree or to another place where he has another group of trees where he taps and leaves these ones to regrow for about 7 months. then they are ready for tapping again.
Oh.
So is that? Here. So here we have a container of the palm wine, and we are going to take a sip of this. Yeah, very tasty. It is fresh, so it is sweet.
Well, my first time, let me see. Yeah, it's nice. Very sweet. So we would like to say thank you so much for watching, and also thank you to Mr. Laurence for allowing us to capture what he does around here, and Masha, who has been very kind to guide us and bring us here, and our guide, Sir Allen, and our filmmaker, adios. Please don't forget to support this channel to grow by subscribing, commenting, sharing with your friends, and coming back for more. Till next time, see you soon.